I used to avoid cave contracts because I thought they weren't worth the trouble of navigating a dark cave and possibly dying. But recently I found a really simple trick that makes them pay out extremely well. Now I take these contracts as soon as I see them, and the great thing is these missions are accessible to anyone. All you really need is some basic equipment to run them. So what makes these contracts so valuable? Well, the key thing we're looking out for is dolomite, a valuable gem, which I'll show you how to get in high quantities. But before we get into that, here's a rundown of what you're going to need. For the contract itself, there are a few different versions of the cave mission, but they all have a similar goal. Go to a cave and neutralise targets. Just look in the Bounty Hunter and Mercenary tabs and you'll find them. You'll need a weapon, which I'd recommend using a sight with 2 to 3 times magnification, as the cave interior is quite large and it's safer to fight at a distance. Armour, ammo, medical supplies, and most importantly, if you want to make a lot of money, a backpack. Travel to the location, but keep an eye out on the marker because as you get close, it will disappear. Just keep your ship pointed at the last known location and fly in a straight line. As you get closer, you should see a rocky outcropping on the surface. Land close, head towards the rocks and enter the cave. Now this is where it starts getting more difficult if you aren't used to running caves, as it's quite dark and the route isn't obvious. Generally, it's best to try to keep heading down deeper underground and you'll be heading in more or less the right direction. There are also a few helpful lights in case you get lost. The cave only really starts to branch out in one section, but when you get there, the contract marker should help you decide which way to go. You can press T to activate your helmet torch, but turn this off when you encounter NPCs. You might be slow the first few times clearing these, but trust me, they get a lot easier. You'll be breezing through them in no time. Now for the important part. As you're progressing, there are 2 things you want to look out for: bodies and boxes. Loot boxes and grab all the dolomite and anything else you want. The real money maker here though are the bodies. Loot each body, but don't worry if you don't see anything of value straight away. The trick is to hit open on the chest, legs and backpack. Each body will have a sneaky stash of dolomite on them somewhere. Between the boxes and the bodies, you should consistently be able to gather around half a large backpack worth of dolomite. Finish the contract, retrace your steps, and head somewhere to sell your loot. In this one cave on Daymar, I managed to get 950 units of dolomite, which I sold at Grimhex for just over 120,000 credits. Add the contract payment and the call to arms bonuses, and that's almost 150k in less than half an hour. If you're able to chain these, it will be way more efficient, and you could easily be looking at 300 to 400k an hour. And that's why I run these cave contracts now, whenever I see one available. Please like, comment and subscribe if the next contract you're going to run is a cave contract.